We are live, coming at you from the comforts of my own home. Yana here with Recovery Fitness. Many of you know Hazel's here too. Here she is. Who's a pretty girl? Who's a pretty girl? These two love birds. You guys know my dogs. You guys know they're semi-inappropriate, but they're being cute. Being cute. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, anyone. Friday night. We're barking on the weekend. Not sure which room I'm going to spend my weekend in or what I'm going to do in that room. Oh, Hazel. These dogs try to fit themselves. They're big. I have relatively big dogs, and they just think they're so little, and they try to fit themselves into these little corners or little tight spaces, and it leaves me semi-uncomfortable. Hi, Craig. Hi, Holly. Hey, guys. Glad you joined us. Some more folks joined. You know that not everyone comes up, so if I don't say your name or acknowledge you, I'm sorry that notification didn't come up, so I don't see you in the feed, but I do want to say hi. How's everyone doing today? Laura, hey. Bridget, hi Bridget. Really love the elephant painting on the wall and the pups. Thank you. It's my elephant painting. Hey Neff, glad you joined. Elephants actually have a lot of significance for me. Hi Karen, welcome. Happy Friday. Holy poop. Yeah, it's Friday, and I'm grateful that it's Friday. This week has been a little, overwhelming in ways, in some sorts. Just a lot of meetings, a lot of phone calls, a lot of different things happening. In the past couple of days, I've been pretty fried. So I'm really looking forward to unplugging. Today, I sort of pulled the plug on my computer a little early. And the next couple of days, I just plan on disconnecting from my phone, disconnecting from the computer, not opening it up, and just spending some time, with the pups, maybe out in my backyard. I'm really grateful that I have a backyard to spend time in. I'm grateful that I have the insight or the awareness and knowledge to recognize when I'm burning out, and to make the choice to unplug. In the past, I would just go until I totally fell to pieces, which was both painful for me and those around me because I wasn't the most pleasant person to be around. So I'm really grateful for that insight and those life lessons. Right. If you don't know darkness, you don't know light. That was part of the reading that I shared with you guys a few days ago. If you haven't been through darkness, you can't truly appreciate and see the light, right? I'm also really grateful that although the world is ending and it snowed today and it's like 60 tomorrow, right? I was in my backyard just before this and I saw like new life and new growth. Some trees had like growing buds. I had some yellow bush with yellow flowers on it. I was starting to see some color. And I'm really grateful for that because it signifies new beginnings. Hey, Karen, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. And when I think about new life and new beginnings, I think about second chances. I think about recovery. I think about the ups and downs, the losses, as well as the gifts and the growth. And so elephants actually are really significant to me. I didn't have really a connection or a tie to elephants. And by the way, when people know you like an elephant or whatever your thing is, they won't stop getting you elephants, which I'm super grateful for. But I have elephants everywhere, and now it's just like, oh, another elephant. Thanks so much. But I do love elephants. So I didn't have any kind of attachment to elephants. They had no meaning for me. Until my friend Pat, some of you know Pat Mullen, died. He was one of the founding members of Recovery Fitness, and he died to an overdose back in 2017, 2 months before Recovery opened. And it was a really dark time for me. I know it was a dark time for many folks. He was really an incredible person, well known and well liked. And around that time, a friend of mine came to me, my friend Carrie, and she said, I had this dream a month ago, and I don't know why I didn't share it with you. It just didn't come to mind, but I figured I'd let you know. And in the dream, Pat came to her, and he said, and I quote what she told me, "Tell Yana about the elephants." So Carrie tells me, and I'm like, well, God damn it, Pat, I don't know about the elephants. What's this message? And lo and behold, shortly thereafter, I just started seeing elephants everywhere. Everywhere I went, in the most, not just coincidence. I'm not a believer in coincidences. I think there's kind of some divine order or divine power at play in everything. But it was people, there were folks someone came into the center, this guy who was like either, I can't remember if he was right out of prison or right out of detox, and he came in and he was so excited and on fire about recovery. And I looked, and it was so interesting because he had a necklace with an elephant on it. And I asked him about it, and we started talking, and it was just really powerful. Then we went to the Adirondacks one day for recovery, and one of the girls there, and I kid you not, this is like the funniest story. She hadn't been to the Adirondacks with us before, but she loved like hiking, camping, whatever. And so we're at camp, we set up camp, and she whips out of her backpack a wooden elephant. And not like a small elephant, it was probably like, my hand was holding the phone, but I don't know, like 2 feet tall. Like it was a large wooden elephant. And she told me that it's also resembles, or it's significant to her because her best friend died. And somehow, I don't remember the exact story, but the connection of this elephant, and she takes him everywhere she goes, and she takes pictures with this elephant. So then I was going to get a tattoo of an elephant, right? And I was looking at different tattoos, and this one kind of came to mind. And I was looking it up, and in the description it talked about elephants and kind of the meaning and synchronicity. It used the word synchronicity. And it's not like a common word that's used all the time, but it was just talking about the wisdom, the power, this like gentle giant, the protective factors of elephants, like all these really powerful things. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this tattoo. So the weekend before, or the weekend after Pat died, we had a recovery Adirondack trip we ended up canceling. And it was a trip Pat was going to ride with me, and he was so excited to go because he had struggled in his recovery, and he sometimes struggles to, pay his own way with things we were doing. And he was so psyched because he had saved some money, and he was going to pay his own way, pay for lodging and donate, and he was just stoked. But after that happened, I couldn't go. So I canceled the trip, but I decided to go on my own, just myself and the dogs, and climb the 2 mountains we were supposed to climb. And I did. I got up early, and it was a split. There's 2 mountains together, Cascade and Porter, some of you may know. And most people, I think, do Cascade, come down a little bit, do Porter. They're relatively busy. And I got to the split, and for whatever reason, I went Porter first. They had planned to go Cascade first. And I got to the top of the mountain, and I was by myself. It was just me and the dogs, and I kind of sat there and talked to Pat, and I really, I don't know, was just reflecting on things. And up comes a girl and her friend. And it's chilly, right? He passed in March. It's pretty chilly. And this girl's coming up, like I'm in a sweater and a jacket, and she's got a tank top on. And as I'm coming down and she's coming up, she has an elephant tattoo on her shoulder, on her arm. And we start talking, and we just connected. And it was just the most beautiful elephant. So that was super cool. So then what sealed the deal with the elephant I picked is, this is a long story, but you got me on the elephant topic. I went to, there's this church, East Ave, downtown Rochester, and it's called Plymouth Spiritualist Church, and they work around healing energy and Reiki and meditation. So they actually have mediums on like the stage or whatever, and after the service, they do readings for people, like whoever comes to them, whatever messages come. There's like, I think there were 4 mediums, and they pick 2 people in the audience, and there's probably like 40, 50 people, and they do a reading. So not everyone gets a reading. And this one, actually 2 people picked me, which really kind of stood out. It was peculiar. And one of the messages was, and I have it written down still, pay attention to synchronicity. And that just, I get emotional thinking about it, because I really just felt Pat with me, so I got this elephant. And ever since, like, I just see elephants all the time. But now my friends all get me elephants, so I don't think they're, I don't know. It's just pretty cool. And some folks joined us. Tacy, hi. Mike, Christina, Kathy, Joanna. So glad you guys joined us. Good to see ya. Hi. So back on track a little bit. I'm going to bring this all in together. So out of darkness comes light, right? There's like new life, rebirth, new birth. And we see that in the changing seasons. I see that a lot, just in recovery, right? This new life. Adam, hey, good to see ya. Hi. The elephant story, I'm pretty sure. I've said it a million times. So thinking about like the losses that we've experienced, in addiction, in recovery, and reflecting back, having a lot of time alone, allows me the opportunity, as painful as it may be, to think about some of those losses, but to also be able to think about them and feel them without having to numb those feelings, to be able to really experience it. And that's been a gift, right? I've talked about before, sorry, the dogs are pushing me, from like pain being a motivator for change, right? Or for growth, really. So during some painful times, such as now and other painful times, I've emerged stronger. I've emerged with more insight, with more knowledge about myself, view or understanding of the world. That's really important to me, because I really thrive on learning, just seeking more connection. Hi Nick, good to see you. I love checking out all your workouts. Nick is from Rock House Athletic, and he is super cool, super duper cool. He does some intense obstacle course races and Spartans, and just amazing. One of my heroes for sure. So I was just thinking about, we had a pretty tragic experience last weekend. We lost one of our volunteers to to this disease. And it's really emotional. We made the decision to close the center before it was mandatory, just out of safety, and not that we're like the be-all, end-all by any means, but the thought crossed my mind, like at what cost? The risk we took when we decided to close our center, how would that impact our community? Is the risk greater if we close versus if we stay open? And these are like some of my worst fears, like always, many of us, is losing our loved ones, losing our friends, those in our community, and learning that he had passed. I can't, you can't help a lot of times think about like, well, what if we would have stayed open? How would that have been different? Or what could I have done better? Or like, I wish there was more, right? We go through that a lot. And I know, I know I didn't cause it. We didn't cause it. So, the rational mind and then the emotional mind can be different things. But, in thinking about that, I had reached out to his mom just to express my condolences, right? A parent's worst nightmare come true. And she said just the kindest things. She had messaged me today, and like, I got the message right before I came on Facebook Live, and it just, it touched me in such a way. She was grateful for recovery, for her son's involvement, how much he appreciated it, and that was one of the best things that happened to him in his recovery. And to have that kind of strength, to have that kind of courage to be able to say those things at such a dark time, probably the worst time, one of the worst times in a person's life, just is really powerful, and it's inspirational in many ways. I think about the parents that have lost their loved one, and I can't imagine the pain. I can't imagine the pain. And my heart goes out if you know of any family members or parents or anyone that's lost a loved one, please reach out. We have resources, supports. There's people out there you can talk to and share in your pain. And, sometimes when we share in our pain, that pain lessens, if just for a second. So I think about, the meaning of things, the existential kind of crisis questions, or whatever you want to call them. But why do bad things happen to good people? Why do we have to lose some? And a friend of mine told me, I think I've said it here before, and I'm not a religious person, I'm really a spiritual person, but something really clicked for me. If you believe in that kind of stuff, which I don't know, there was some comfort in her words, which is that God can't keep all of his angels here on earth with us. Perfect. This is perfect. That's great. Thank you, Hazel. And that really just resonated with me. So I think about that. I think about Pat and that he's watching over all of us, recovery. It was kind of his baby too, and I think about all the angels that have gone and how they're with us, and how without them we wouldn't be where we are in many ways, right? Our losses, unfortunately, they bring us closer together. Our pain, right? Our shared experience, that shared pain brings us closer together and binds our community. And it continues to fuel our fight. It ignites a fire. Our vision, our mission, to keep us, fighting the good fight together. So another thing about dogs, or my dogs anyway, I think probably most dogs, is their sixth sense. So when I know when I'm feeling sad, or when other people too, because the dogs are at the center a lot. When someone's feeling sad, they have this intuitive sense, and they do things like this. They're all over. They come right up to people, and they just like put their head in their lap, just as a way to comfort. And so I just love dogs so much. They have a really healing energy around them. So on days that maybe I don't feel like getting up, or there's days that the pain is just too great, and sometimes I want to give up, and not in the sense of like self-harm, but just stay in bed, and just maybe not be in this field, because sometimes the pain is just too great. Some of the things that are said or that I hear about people with substance use disorder really hurt, really, really hurt. The stigma out there can be so, so painful. So there's days that I don't have it in me, but then I remember why we do what we do, right? Why I show up every day, and it's Pat, and it's, oh gosh, so many others that I believe are with me, walking alongside me through this. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Mom. You joined us. Hello. Mairead, good to see you again. Good to see you guys. So I think from our darkest moments comes our greatest strength. And we have this bond, this unbreakable bond through our experiences in recovery, family members, loved ones, community supporters. I was on, this was a couple of years ago, I think. I went on 98 PXY. I love that crew. They're pretty amazing. And just talking about my story, about recovery. And I left, and I was in the car, and I had PXY on. And I remember hearing the conversation after, and it just gave me goosebumps. It gave me chills. It almost brought me to tears, because the conversation was, I believe it was Corey that was saying, she has such a powerful story, but you would never know that she's in recovery. She's normal. She looks normal, right? Just like anyone else. And there's more to the conversation, but like the gist behind it was that we're not, the stigma is alive and well, and we need to challenge those ideas, because we're not abnormal. We're your everyday people. We're mothers and fathers and children and cousins. We're your mailman or your banker, your politician. We're everything. We're everywhere. We vote, we work, you name it. We're everywhere. So it was a really powerful conversation, because if only for the guys there, right? Or I'm sure I don't even know how many listeners they have, but they had this powerful moment of, hey, they're like everyone else. There's nothing like different. I would have never known. And she not talked about being in recovery, and like, what a concept, right? And it's pretty cool to have substance use disorder, to have addiction recovery normalized. Marquita, I hope I'm saying your name right. Hi, this is my first time here. My therapist at Evelyn Brandon told me about this Facebook page and told me all the positive things, so I'm here now. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. That's really great. I'm glad that you found out and you jumped on the feed. And Holly, I lost a nephew to addiction. I'm so very sorry. I'm so very sorry for your loss. It's just so tragic. It's so tragic because there's hope out there. There's just so much hope. There are people in recovery all around, right? And that lived experience, I think, creates this drive to help others in similar situations, because like we found a way out, Oh, yay, I said your name right. Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, but like we found a way out. We found a new life, right? New beginnings that have brought so much joy and so much purpose and beauty to us, to those around us, you know? So it's really tragic. But it goes back to how I always talk about being kind, you know, checking on your people, reaching out to others. Hey, Nellie, good to see you. You're not late, you're right on time. Plus, you could always rewatch if you wanted to see what I said earlier. But when I talk about checking on your people, checking in with even your neighbors, you know, in a safe way. I'm not talking like go knock on their door right now, but because you never know who's struggling, right? You never know what fight people are fighting. Maybe your words that day will change the course of their lives. Maybe they are struggling with addiction. We can't always tell just by looking at someone. And maybe something about you. Maybe you're wearing a recovery sweater or a recovery shirt, and someone asks you about it, and you start talking about addiction recovery, and there it is, right? The magic of connecting with one another. Hey, Karina. Hi, beautiful. Good to see you. Glad you joined. So, I'm always on this, preaching, be kind and check on your people and your loved ones, and just really know that you're not alone. I can't say it enough. I know I say it every night, but please just really know that, you know, if you're struggling, there's a way out. There's a way out. There are people that love and care about you, and if you and I think this virtual world creates more of an opportunity because it's not as scary as doing face to face. You know, you could shoot a message, or you can, do whatever, shoot an email. It's not as intimidating, you know. So just please know that you're not alone, and please know that you can reach out anytime. We have outreach and engagement specialists that are providing peer support. Talk to them. You can Zoom with them. You could, whatever. We're here for you. Hey, Vinny. Chajik. Hello. Good to see you. Still waiting on that video, Vin. We're doing this, we did this silly challenge, this upside down t-shirt challenge where you do like a handstand kind of thing against the wall and try to put on your shirt upside down. And Vinny promised me a video. Holly, check on the strong ones who seem to be the ones who will always help others. They may be struggling the most. Yeah, I'll be the first one to tell you that, I struggle too. I think sometimes people might see me and not recognize my humanness. A lot of times I'm the recovery girl, if I'm out and about, and some folks are like, hey, you're that recovery girl, but the truth is I struggle just like anyone else. The strong ones struggle just like anyone else. We're all in it together. We all feel, we're all human, and that's a beautiful thing. Danielle, welcome. Welcome to the feed. Vinny, I need a wall. I'm ready. Find a stinking wall. I almost cursed. No, really, we miss you. I miss you, Vin. Yeah. So I also have kind of a funny ask, or an interesting, peculiar ask. I am looking for local restaurants. This totally took a hard left, but I'm looking for local restaurants that may be willing to provide food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some snacks to those, to folks, about 10 folks. I'll share a little bit more about this later, but if you know of any restaurant owners, staff at restaurants, it's kind of like a meal delivery for folks living in a sober housing kind of setting, crisis housing. You'll hear more about my little idea sometime next week. But I'm looking for local restaurants, restaurant owners, restaurant staff that would be willing to provide meals to those in need. So shoot me some names, some contacts if you can, if you think of any. We want to support local. It's going to be for about 10 people to start. I promise to tell you more next week. All right, guys. So as you embark on your weekend, check on your people, check on your loved ones. Don't forget to tell your loved ones that you love them. You know, those few words mean so much. And remember that we're always here for you. We're ready, willing, and able. We're here to help. Reach out anytime, day or night, Adam, thanks. Effortlessly Healthy. They're pretty great. So reach out day or night. Please don't give up hope. No matter what, don't give up hope. Help is out there. God, if you need to talk, please message me. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. The folks that are gone, you don't feel the pain anymore. It's us, human conditioned folks down here on earth that suffer, and there's just such a better way to be. There's just such a better way to live, and it's such a gift, and reach out to any of us, recovery, anyone in recovery. We have this sort of like inherent need to serve others in some ways, like we're all in it together. We've gone through it. We'd be more than willing, excited to share our journey with you and help you in your journey. So please stay safe out there. Tomorrow should be really nice. Make sure you get outside. Make sure you check on your people. Make sure you make your gratitude list and are living in gratitude. And have a great night. Don't get too crazy tonight. Be safe. Bye, guys.